Hello, welcome back to Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm James Pendleton and I'm here to talk about Everton's very poor defeat to Fulham. Yesterday, Everton lost that game by 3-1. They were very poor for most of the contest. A 10-15 minute spell in the first half was all we could really muster, and we scored in it. We should have got another one, maybe even another after that, but we didn't, and then we put in the worst half of football I've seen, certainly since Dyche came in. Probably doesn't quite top Southampton, but even then we hit the bar and we were a bit unlucky not to score in that one, to be fair. It was really bad anyway, and it was certainly the worst performance under the new regime by a distance. I'm here to give my player ratings anyway. We'll dive straight in. Jordan Pickford, I'll just give him a 5. He made a couple of good saves. Don't think he could have done anything really with any of the 3 goals. Even the first one squirmed under him a little bit, but I just gotten up from them hitting the post and a pinball in the box. Weird one really, because whenever he got the ball, he was so frustrated yesterday, and I think big reason for that is he wasn't getting any options. Neither the centre-backs wanted it all game. No Seamus Coleman there. Ben Godfrey's not offering for the ball. There's nothing going down the right, which is a pass he likes to do more often. And then in the end, he was just spanking it long to Neil Maupay, who obviously we'll come on to later, but yeah, I mean, a lack of target man for him. I think when people aren't shown for you, you can get the ball long to a target man, brilliant, that's fine. If Calvin's not playing, or even Ellis Sims, then yeah, not ideal. We'll pick up the second ball, but then Decore's not playing. He's the best of the club at picking up second balls, pressing from the front, and try and make that happen. And then obviously when those are failing, and you can at least get it out to the right back or whatever and start from there, but even that we didn't have, and a really frustrating performance for him. I think he seemed very annoyed throughout the game, but as I say, he made a couple of good saves and yeah, made it so it wasn't worse really. But yeah, not a good day at the office for anybody. He was probably one of the better ones. Moving on to Ben Godfrey at right back, shocking, really poor. You know, you gotta look at things overall at times. This is Ben Godfrey's 3rd season at Everton. He's had some injury issues, but people tell me how Everton failed him and how he got shunted at the left back and right back, and he's not played centre back and a back 4 for quite a while and all this. Yeah, sure, but if Ben Godfrey was good enough in those positions, he wouldn't be shunted out. I know he's a great athlete, and that's, you know, the only thing he offers you really at right back and left back, other than he's obviously quite a strong tackler of the ball. Yeah, when he's probably kind of maybe even already out of position anyway, and he comes sprinting across to put in a big clatter, which we all do enjoy for sure. I'm not trying to take that away, but he was just awful yesterday. Really bad. Left Willian so many times at the far post. Did it for the second goal. He went forward occasionally, crossed the ball in. It was awful. Yeah, and then he went off obviously after about 65 minutes. Really bad. I don't know what's going to happen with him, because as I say, he's going to go into his 4th season. You don't know whether he's better in a back 5, in a back 4. His future can't be at full-back, but he's not a good enough centre-back for so many ways. We saw that against Southampton, as I alluded to before. He's just not good enough, I don't think, at the minute. And yeah, he gets a pretty comfortable 2 from me. Moving on, James Tarkowski. You know, as per usual, he's putting in big tackles, he's putting in big challenges, he's doing well for us at different times of the game, but you know, 2 or 3 times really poor clearances. One in the first half straight to Harry Wilson, that was shocking, and that's not like James Tarkowski at all. I feel like he's much more composed than that, but really poor there. He gets dragged out of position for the second goal. Obviously a few things came before that, but when he's out of position, because he hasn't got any sort of recovery pace, he is just out of the game once the ball gets passed around him. And yeah, didn't want the ball all game. Really poor from him. I'm going to give him a 3. Next to him, Michael Keane. I mean, I don't know what else to say about Michael Keane really. He's just a loser. That's kind of the long and the short of it. I'm done with Michael Keane at Everton Football Club as far as I'm concerned, in terms of the fact that this is now 5-6 seasons of this where, yeah, fine, he can do some things well. He can be not consistent, but he can give off this aura of kind of like colossal nature. Like, you know, he's put in so many good performances for Everton. I totally agree, particularly under Carlo Ancelotti when he was at the helm. But it's just so many mistakes, and that 3rd goal from the pair of them is just so schoolboy. A little touch from Dan James, hits him on the arse, goes straight back to him. It's piss poor. and he's just nowhere near good enough to play for Everton. And he pulled out a world the other week, fair play to him. In that one game he made a mistake, puts a goal down, and then does that to bring us level, fair enough. But he was fixing his own mistake there again. He's always chasing his own tail. He's just nowhere near good enough. And he gets a 2. Next time at left back was definitely Everton's worst performer yesterday. Mykolenko. He is nowhere near good enough. I was okay with moving on Luca Dean. I felt like by the end of his time at Everton, Dean had probably ran his course. Everton made their money back. He's now been replaced at Villa. I don't think getting rid of Luca Dean was probably the worst thing Everton could have done, but to replace him with this lad is just shocking, because he offers you nothing going forward. Defensively he's crap. That first goal, he's letting in Harry Wilson on his left foot. How many sweeter left foots have you got in the division? Honestly, you're talking 1 or 2. Genuinely, I really don't think there's that many players who are better edge of the area left foot than he is. Let it go to the fullback. Okay, no one's tracking Tete, or McNeil was labouring a little bit getting back to him, but Dyche will say all week, let the ball be funnelled wide, let them cross it into Dan James or Willian, let it happen. I know for obviously the second goal it did end up going into him, but we were at 6s and 7s. Godfrey's been really poor, as I mentioned before, but I prefer that to Harry Wilson taking a shot on his left foot from the edge of the area, just pathetically bad. And then him and Tarkowski statuesque when the ball comes back off the post. He's just terrible. He's really, really, really bad. And, we had John Joe Kenny playing there. We had the rumours of Duncan Ferguson saying he's not good enough. And then we had Ben Godfrey playing there. It's telling. And it makes you think as well, how bad must Ruben Van Agra be? I think he was injured actually this weekend, but the fact that he's not played all season. He's had no minutes at all, basically. It shows how much of a mess the whole situation is. But yeah, terrible. He gets a 1. Next, Dwight McNeil, Everton's best player, I think, probably yesterday, but after 70 minutes he was knackered. He's got a good goal, was making things happen, showing tenacity, showing a bit of fight, which I enjoyed. But I say by like 60-70 minutes he was running on empty. He was absolutely goosed, and yeah, he wasn't getting much help. But good goal from him. Hopefully he can do that a few more times from now on the end of the season. I'd give him a 5. Next on, Idrissa Gay. Not good enough again from Idrissa Gay. Dragged that opposition for the second goal. Again, a bit like Tarkowski, things happened before that. But the thing that annoys me the most about Idrissa Gay, it's the silly bookings. I don't know how many times he's been booked this season, but he just goes in with a petulant tackle in the first half. Gives them a free kick in a decent area. Gets booked. He's walking on eggshells for the rest of the game. Pathetically bad for him. The most experienced member of the team, he's played in Champions League finals, or he's been in squads, he's played in AFCON finals. He's a big player, and he's not playing like a big player at the moment. Really poor. Still gives energy, still breaks play up. Still played a role in our goal. That's why it's so frustrating, because he has got it in the locker still. But no, he's not been good enough recently. And for me, he gets a 3. Next up, James Garner. His first start in the Premier League, was it? Certainly one of his first starts anyway. I think he started in the cup game against Bournemouth all the way back in the early days of the end. Showed some good bits, kept going. A couple of shots late on, gets the assist for the goal. I thought he was alright, to be honest with you. Again, a bit like McNeil, I felt he played a big role in our recovery in the game. If overall his performance maybe wasn't incredible, but it's his first start. He's just come back from injury. It's not like someone who's been around for ages where you feel like he played a part last season or anything like that. It's very much someone who's now getting a chance, and I hope he stays in for the next game. I thought he was okay. I'd give him a 5 as well. Alex Iwobi, it's just not performance really, was it? You see so little of him. A couple of good passes here and there. Again, brings some energy, but no, he was not nowhere to be seen in that second half. I'd give him a 3 as well. Demarai Gray, shocking. People said, I think when he got moved up front and we were in that role period under Dyche, people were saying, he's going to be him who drags out of this. No, you can't hang your hat on Demarai Gray. You've never been able to throughout his entire career, never mind since he come to Everton. He's so inconsistent, it's painful. And look, I get it, he's playing left midfield, striker, second striker, right midfield. behind the striker, like an attacking mid-advance role. I get it, it's not easy, but my God, I mean, once again, it's another shocking performance from him. And how many of those has he put in for Everton? He's played well for Everton in some games, of course he has. He scored some great goals for Everton, he scored important goals for Everton. I get all that, but no, I think like most of them he gave up yesterday, really bad. 2, and then Neil Maupay, I mean, how he misses that chance in the first half. And you're just thinking as well, I mean, if he scores that chance in the first half, I don't mean the header which he put straight at the goalie. My dad said he was offside, but I hadn't even seen that back. Hasn't been on any highlights I've seen. Probably because he was offside, but the one where he did a 1-2 with McNeil, he was really good as well. He gets the ball out to the box, he turns on it, squares up the defender, lay off to McNeil, carries on his run, little give and go. But just, I mean, how many times have you seen that finish in the Premier League where a striker is off balance a little bit, but it almost helps him lift the ball a little bit, falls back, gets a lot of power on it, whips into that far post. I mean, how many times have you seen that on a Sunday when you're down the park? Like, it's so poor, and it just shows how little confidence. You saw it with Solanke a few weeks ago for Bournemouth, where he should have scored and he took an extra touch, and I can't remember who it was against, but everyone was saying that's a lack of confidence, and I do get it. But then I don't even know what he's gone for in the end. It's like a chip, back pass straight at the goalie. It's just crap. He is awful. And talk about not being able to hang your hat on players. I mean, my God. Yeah, he is shocking that he gets another 1 as well. Tom Davis not even going to rate because he was just so poor when he came on. And I'm sick to the back teeth of him being subbed on in games. Bring on Stanley Mills, bring on Isaac Price. I mean, I know Price is leaving as well, to be fair, but certainly Mills, bring him on. I don't care. Tom Davis is nowhere near good enough for Everton, firstly. Secondly, he's leaving. And thirdly, I said this yesterday, he is the board on the pitch. He's not fit for purpose. He's past his sell-by date, and he promised loads when he's delivered nothing. He is nowhere near good enough to play for Everton, and he is the brunt of... You know, it's a joke really, isn't it, amongst Everton fans, that he's the brunt of so many dads' frustration, and I get that. And there was periods when he was playing alright and people were saying he wasn't playing well, and I get he's kind of one of them figures at Everton, and he seems like a great lad. I'm not talking about him personally here, because I say he seems like a really, really nice fella, and I wish him all the best in that. But on the football pitch, a bit like John Joe Kenny, heart, sure, nowhere near good enough. Nowhere near good enough. And the fact that he's still in the situation where he's being brought on to try and salvage games, and he's never going to do that. He's never going to do that in his career, is he? Salvage a game for Everton. It's not going to happen. And it winds me up to knowing that he's still playing crap. And then Ellis Sims, I mean, to be fair, he came on, he put his weight around a little bit, made a good run to the channel, played a good ball into McNeil or Garner. Probably should have done a bit better there. I mean, yeah, I would give him like a 3. He didn't play much, did he? But at least he tried something. He did more than Neil Maupay did, to put it that way. So there are my ratings, scathing as they were. A couple of 1s there, a couple of 2s, mostly 2s and 3s, isn't normally, but certainly for today anyway. But yeah, just really bad. Don't get me wrong, I'm not throwing in the towel just yet, and I've been talking today about how if Everton get their best 11 on the pitch for at least 3 or 4 games this season, I think we're going to be okay. I still believe that. Wishful thinking maybe, but that's just the way I'm looking at it right now. But yeah, Everton are dropping themselves in a whole heap of trouble by not taking chances, by individuals making mistakes, and at the end of the day, Everton's chickens have come home to roost. We all know that. You just pray and the manager's got a plan to get us out of this mess, because it's not looking very good at the minute. But we've got 7 or 8 really huge games left. Let's hope this is the last time we have to sit here and give out 1s and 2s to multiple players. Thank you all very much for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you.